Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Devil May Cry 3. Today we're going to be starting mission number 6. Lady's design is so killer. I really feel like the character design in Devil May Cry 3 is top-notch, because you can look at any of the big four characters, Dante, Vergil, Arkham, and Lady, and know exactly what they're about just based on their designs. Plus that little, like, the skirt made out of holsters for handgun ammo, it's dope too. There's an early sketch of Lady in the art book that is not nearly as good. It's her in this all-white Elvis onesie. It's the worst. So there's rubble blocking the door that we need to get through. We can clear it out doing a couple of trials. One trial shows lacking. 2 trials expands horizons. All 3 unlocks one's true potential. The first one is the trial of wisdom. From the crawling infant to the man standing tall, and finally the old man leaning on his cane. It's a really old riddle. There are lights above the doors up here, corresponding to the riddle. So as a baby, you crawl around on all 4s. 4 lights. As you grow up, you learn to walk upright on 2 legs. 2 lights, and as an old man, you might need the assistance of a cane, so 3. 3 lights. Old riddle. Not hard at all. If you pick the wrong door, you get an arena with a bunch of enemies in it, then you exit back out the door with the 1 light. So the hint that we were getting before from that white pedestal is that we only need to actually do 2 trials in order to clear the rubble and finish the mission. But there's a special reward for doing all 3. The easiest 2 are wisdom and technique here. Technique is just dodging some spikes. Watching the pattern, getting in the right spot. Whoop. Need to be over on the left. And I want to watch this very end, because yeah, that could happen. Let's save the dash for the end. It's a lot like something that happens in Bayonetta 1. That's it. I think some enemies fill the room. Nothing too serious. The blood gargoyles and a couple of hell demons. So the tricky one is the combat trial. And you'll see why momentarily. It's really long, and it introduces a mechanic that's kind of a taste of what the Dante Must Die difficulty is like in DMC 3. Enemies gain new attack patterns, they gain new moves, they gain resistance to being stunned and hit stun locked. They gain a lot of health, like a seriously ridiculous amount. and they gain the ability to go into something called Devil Trigger. If you've watched the previous 2 Devil May Cry Let's Plays, or if you've just played Devil May Cry yourself, you know what Devil Trigger is all about. But for those who are just watching this LP for the first time, no prior experience with Devil May Cry, suppress the evil spirit's rage. Yeah, it's kind of giving you a hint about the Devil Trigger. For those of you new to the series, Devil Trigger is kind of like your powered-up mode, and on Dante Must Die in DMC3, enemies also get the ability to go into that mode, and they become substantially harder. Normally, you will not find enemies using Devil Trigger, except on Dante Must Die or in this trial. And you can see, even these basic Hell Prides are much more sturdy. They're actually blocking me. They aren't getting stunned nearly as easily. They're kind of poising through some of my attacks. Oops. And they'll also deal an increased amount of damage, which makes this a very dangerous combat arena. On top of that, it's an endurance test. There are a lot of enemies here. There are a lot of enemies in this arena. Not just a lot per wave, but a lot of waves. And because of the increased health from the Devil Trigger, they'll take a while to kill. And you have to be a lot more mobile, a lot more evasive, and a lot more defensive. A lot more careful with your offense, too. But here's the gimmick of this arena. There are these switches. There are 2 switches at either ends of the arena. And once you activate both of them, it will turn off the enemy Devil Trigger. Devil Trigger is an ability we're going to pick up for Dante in a couple of missions from now. You actually get it what feels like fairly late into Devil May Cry 3. Close to the halfway mark, I think. The Wrath is not that big a deal. I want to pour the damage onto the other enemies while I have the chance, though. The Wrath in Devil Trigger is not a problem like the others are, like the Sloths and the Lusts. Okay, so that switch is still active, which means the one at the other end of the room must have turned off. There goes this one. I was waiting for it. So the switches don't nullify their Devil Triggers forever. Eventually the switches run out, so you have a limited window of time to really dump your damage into them once you cancel out their DT. The thing with the Lusts that I haven't been very good at reading is they telegraph their slash pretty hard, where they come running at you with their scythe out. They always jump back before they do it. I just haven't really been paying it the kind of mind that I need to. I haven't been as attentive to them. But that's the combat arena, and this is on what would be the original releases easy. Remember, Special Edition Normal is the original base game's easy. The original release of this game was known, among other things, for being very, very difficult. Which is why they toned it down so much when Special Edition came out. Why they bumped all the difficulty settings down. It actually got a lot of flack for its difficulty. So we've inlaid 2 stones into the statue from the beginning of the mission. That clears the rubble out. The third one, though, gives us our special reward, our optional one. And it's Artemis, which is a lot like Nightmare Beta from Devil May Cry 1. It's completely worthless, in my opinion, without Devil Trigger. This is a combat adjudicator for Agni and Rudra, and it has 4 flames, signifying that you need, I believe, an A rank. The more flames on the combat adjudicator indicates a higher style ranking that you need to achieve before it will break. I messed this one up a little bit, so I have to play catch up now with my Agni and Rudra techniques. Here we go. I did that without having to use the crazy combo either. Crazy combos are things like Trillion Stabs with Rebellion. Attacks where you mash and it creates that white glow.
Well, well. You've grown stronger.
Go to hell.
You point a gun at me? Your own kin? Your dear papa?
The only family I ever had was my mother. And she's dead!
You break my heart. After all, it was I who gave you your name. My darling daughter.
Alright, that's going to do it for this pretty short mission. The next one is quite a bit longer, and it's the end of the first act, I would say. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Well, this is my kind of rain. No wonder the sky looks so funny today.
Let me go!
Let you go? But it would be a waste if you ended up as just a pretty stain. What the hell was that for? Here I am trying to help you, and you show your thanks by shooting me? Whatever. Do as you please.
So he's a demon too.
I'm beginning to think I've got rotten luck with women.